Welcome to our Year 9 History project on Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born on the 24th of February 1955 in San Francisco, California. He was the biological son of Abdul Fattah Jandali and Joanne Schiebler, and he had a biological sister called Mona Simpson. Jobs never met his biological father.
We got 45 seconds. I want to use it to ask you a question. Why do people who were adopted feel like they were rejected instead of selected?
I don't feel rejected.
You're sure?
Very sure.
Because it's not like the baby is born and the parents look and say, nah, we're not interested in this one. On the other hand, someone did choose you.
It's having no control. You find out you're out of the loop when the most crucial events in your life were set in motion. As long as you have control. I don't understand people who give it up.
Before we tell you about his tremendous accomplishments, we are going to tell you a bit about how he struggled during his life. Steve Jobs slept on his friends' dorm room floors, returned Coke bottles for money, and survived off free meals from a local temple.
He eventually accepted Lisa as a legitimate daughter. Steve Jobs struggled so much to the point when he stole from his Apple co-founder, Steve Wozniak. They agreed on a 50-50 share for their first breakout game, Atari. Atari gave them $5,000. However, Jobs told Wozniak that they only received $700. So Jobs took $4,650 for himself, leaving Wozniak with only $350.
One of the very first people to revolutionize the world of technology. He simplified almost every mobile device and then invented some too, such as the iPad and the Macintosh. Steve Jobs was the first person to make a computer with a graphical user interface, the Macintosh. Alongside the Macintosh, he introduced the idea of typography on screen and fonts.
Jobs helped everyone pick up an Apple device by creating simple, user-friendly devices. Nowadays, most people use MacBooks and iPads for work and school. Jason Stein, a filmmaker, commented saying that iPads had saved the use of 10,000 sheets of paper during the pre-production phase of a feature film. As well as making devices easier to use day to day, Steve Jobs sought to make them more beautiful, starting with the first iPhone, which surpassed many expectations.
Steve Jobs' innovations had a key involvement in the progression of technology, ranging from computers such as the iMac and MP3 players such as the iPod. Apple products were simple yet advanced, and users ranged from children to office workers. Apple had sold 600 million iPhones, and almost 101 million people in the USA own an iPhone, which is a third of their population.
Apple devices make life easier for many people, providing many useful extras. However, Steve Jobs strived to make it as simple as it is useful. The first iPhone was one of the first fully touch-sensitive phones on the market, as well as having the operating system of a computer encased in a simple, sleek design. Steve Jobs' MacBook helped people with work and made it easier. The App Store was full of apps and games that people love. Apple products could help everyone somehow, in one way or another.
Steve Jobs and the creation of the Apple Corporation was revolutionary in the progress of technology, as it changed the lives of billions of people all over the world, from the more developed countries with millions of potential customers to the less developed countries that provided the workforce needed to build on the strong backbone that Steve Jobs had provided.
Through Apple, millions of people had been affected through the Apple Corporation and its various projects, such as Product Red, founded by Steve Jobs to eliminate HIV and AIDS in less developed poorer areas. The Apple logo symbolizes hope and recognition to all those who see it in all parts of the world through products like Product Red, which has already donated more than $100 million to provide education and medical care to those most affected.
Steve Jobs is remembered for putting Apple on the right track to becoming the most cash-rich company in the world. He's recognized as the man who created Apple and was the man who made everything from nothing. He is recognized as being the creator of the Apple products and making them so revolutionizing to technology and making them different from what other brands were selling to the public.
This created a benchmark of an extremely high standard for other brands to achieve. He will also be recognized as the man who chose to make the iPhone smaller than most smartphones. This created a new type of mobile phone and made other brands change all aspects of their products.
Steve Jobs will be forever remembered for his creations and how he went from rags to riches. He created many products that are a necessity in today's era. Some examples are the iPhone, the iPad, the iMac, MacBook, iTunes and the Macintosh computer.
His achievements were even more amazing considering that he had dropped out of college and that his GPA, grade point average, was only 2.65 out of 5, a C
Steve Jobs
grade.
had been battling pancreatic cancer since 2003. However, it was believed that he had the cancer for 30 years and had been using a fruitarian diet to combat it.
Sadly, Steve Jobs passed away on the 5th of October 2011. He is now known as one of the most significant people in the world due to his inventions and development in technology.
Here are some inspiring words from Steve Jobs while laying on his deathbed. Non-stop pursuing of wealth will only turn a person into a twisted being just like me. God gave us the senses to let us feel the love in everyone's heart, not the illusions brought about by wealth.
Thank you for watching our presentation on Steve Jobs' interesting life.